Hello everyone, it's me, Hedgehog. I don't really know what this is, but I was really bored and lazy and I didn't want to record anything for Thursday. So I decided I was just gonna sit in a room with my mic, put my face very, very close to my microphone, and ramble about something. So, cause you people will fucking watch anything. I kid. You all have more intelligence than that. Actually, this is because I really like to talk about things and analyze things, but the words deep analysis and daily upload do not go very well together. So, what am I going to talk about today? I feel like today I want to talk about Psychonauts, because I finished that game recently. I had spring break and all of a sudden I had time to actually fucking do things besides go to class and work. So I sat down and I finished Psychonauts, finally. For those of you who don't know what Psychonauts is, either because you're very young or because you don't know a lot about video games or because you're not into the whole narrative game, I guess niche, weird, story-driven game subgenre of people. Psychonauts is a game made by Double Fine in 2005, maybe 2007. It's sometime around there. I don't know, but it's this game. It's like an action adventure game. It's like a 3D platformer type. Like Zelda inspired, that kind of thing. And it's about this kid named Raz, which is short for Rasputin. I believe it is in fact a reference to Rasputin, lover of the Russian queen. There was a cat that really was gone. Rasputin, Russia's greatest love machine. It was a shame how he carried on. I think that's what it's a reference to. But anyway, Raz runs away from the circus, he runs away from the circus, not to the circus. Yeah, it's so funny. But he runs away from the circus to go to a summer camp for psychics. And he hopes that he can join the ranks of the Psychonauts, who are basically psychic super secret agents. And the plot sounds ridiculous, and it is. But it's also the most charming, quirky, bizarre, weird, sometimes creepy game you will ever play. Because essentially what Raz does is he's able to use his psychic powers to enter people's minds. And it's all a huge, big metaphor for weird shit. And yeah, it's great. At one point he goes to an insane asylum, and that's where it really gets interesting. But Psychonauts is a cool game. It's a great game. The reason it took me so long to beat it was because I tried to. Maybe I don't know, 2 years ago, something like that. I don't know. I don't remember when I bought the game. It was a summer, I think. And I got about halfway through the game, but I found it so difficult. And it shouldn't have been that difficult. I thought maybe I just was not skilled. I did not have the skills, which is true. I don't have the skills. But then when I recently picked it up again last spring break, I realized that the game had been so hard because I had been using a keyboard instead of a controller. And the game is really designed to be used with a controller. So this time around, I sped through the first half of the game. And the second half was still a little bit harder, but most of that was because sometimes the game doesn't always explain things very well. See Waterloo World, which I'll talk about later, probably, maybe. We'll see what happens. So yeah, but the game is excellent. The game is great. It's got some incredibly interesting concepts, some great characters. They've got a whole cast of these kids at this psychic academy who are all very detailed and multi-layered, and I did not spend enough time with them. There are a lot of achievements I could have unlocked about the kids that I did not, because I had no idea how to unlock them, and I just kind of wanted to finish the game and said, maybe I'll go back later and do it. But all the kids are super interesting. There's this Russian guy who's chasing after this bear. There's this kid with his cowboy hat who's got 2 girls macking on him. There's the girl who's dating him, who's just fawning over this other guy. There's Dogen, who's just He's just Dogan. And then, of course, there's Lily, who is Bae. She is best Bae. I love her. I love her. I want to be Lily. I want to play her so badly. But that cast is great. Because there's 2 sections to Psychonauts. There's the summer camp, and there's the insane asylum across the lake. And I'm going to try not to spoil too much, but knowing me, some things are going to slip by. So if you haven't played Psychonauts and you want to, maybe just go off and play it. It's $20 on Steam. It's not going to cost you that much. Just make sure you have a controller, unless you're in for a challenge, which be my guess, I guess. But there's 2 sections. There's the summer camp, and then there's the insane asylum across the lake. And both have equally interesting casts of characters. The first half of the game is mostly spent on tutorials. You go into your instructors' heads. You learn a bunch of cool new skills. I love both instructors. Mia, I forget her last name, and Agent 9 are both really cool. Mia Bordello, that's her last name, Bordello. And she's cute. I love her level. It's fun. But yeah, you spend that time at the summer camp, and then shit hits the fan, and you gotta go get some people's brains back, because their brains get sucked out, and so you end up going to the asylum, because that's where all the brains are, because the inmates have taken over the asylum. It's a great time. And you run into a bunch of weird characters, and you have to go into their heads and solve their problems that they'll let you pass, or they'll give you things or whatever. And I think all the worlds in the asylum are by far the most interesting. The ones before the asylum are fun and cool, but once the story gets going, then the worlds inside these people's heads are bizarre and weird and amazing. There's Lungfishopolis. You get to be a crazy huge like destroyer, like Godzilla, and run around a city of these little tiny gross lungfishes, like, are these disgusting little fish people. And there's the Milkman conspiracy, which is where you go into this conspiracy, paranoid schizophrenic's head, and you gotta work your way around, and you have to take on 50 million disguises in order to get to places, and everyone is really bizarre, and there's all these like rainbow scouts who are gonna like murder you. It's great. And then there's Glorious Theater, which I related to far too heavily. Stop adding me, game, please. Just don't. Just please. I know it's gonna be me in 20 years, but just shush. There's Waterloo World, which is one of my favorites, for reasons I'll probably go into. And then there's Black Velvetopia, which is also really cool, but that was one of the more frustrating ones for me. And I feel like I'm missing one. What is it? Oh yeah, and then of course there's the Meat Circus, which, holy shit, I hate the Meat Circus. The Meat Circus can go and fucking die. But I love all the cool worlds. I really love Waterloo World, especially because I'm a huge fan of old-timey strategy games, and that really tickled that itch, and it just looked really cool and just operated in a really cool way. Basically, in Waterloo World, you have to go into this guy's head, and this guy is a descendant of Napoleon. And because he lost a bunch of games to an inmate, he's basically gone insane, and the spirit of his great, however fucking many greats, ancestor Napoleon kind of becomes a second personality. And so in his head, he's got to, win a game against Napoleon in order to regain his sanity, essentially. And I really loved it. It was so creative, and it was really cool. The only problem is they did not explain shit, so I had to look up a walkthrough a couple times just to say, okay, how do I get around? How do I get out of the board? How do I get back into the board? How do I become big? How do I become small, etc., etc.? Which was slightly frustrating, but once I figured out what I was doing, it was a great level, and I loved it. But also I think it reminded me slightly, just the guy, I forget his name, but Napoleon's great-grandson, or whatever the fuck he is. He reminded me of Dragon a lot. because he's a tall, skinny fuck. And This thing I do when I play video games is I always do this exercise with myself is if I was to make this into a live action adaptation, whether that be a movie or a TV show or a miniseries or whatever, how would I do it and who would I cast? And, immediately, of course, oh, well, that guy has to be Dragon because, yeah. Boyd, the Milkman conspiracy guy, clearly has to be James. Shigor would have to be Alamise because she does an amazing high-pitched voice. I don't want to be Gloria, of course. I feel like it'd be cool to double cast it. So, everybody plays a character in the summer camp, and then everybody plays a character in the asylum. So that'd be fun. Because I also really want to be Lily a lot. Everyone's brains is getting taken. We have to go save them. Oh my god, let's make out. She speaks to me on an emotional level. I feel like Lily and I are on the same wavelength. Absolutely we are. But no, Psychonauts is a really cool game. It's a really fun experience. And y'all should play it. Milkman Conspiracy is a bizarre level that really twists your perception of everything, and I did need to look up a walkthrough for that one too, because I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing. Glorious Theater is a fucking train wreck, but I love the symbolism. Again, there's the Waterloo World, which is fucking great if they'd actually explain shit. Black Velvetopia is this bizarre mind trip of a level, and I love it. A lot of people talk about Black Velvetopia, and a lot of people say that's their favorite level, and I feel like some of it was a little bit too frustrating for me to really like, but I loved all the symbolism and stuff, and it was really cool. And then the final level is, of course, fucking Meat Circus, and the Meat Circus can go die in a hole, because I hate it. Literally, there's this one part, because the main character, Raz, his whole family is cursed to die in water. Cursed by a psychic to die in water. I don't know how that works, but, okay, whatever. So there's this part of the level where the water is rising in this huge tent, and you have to, climb up and get to the top of this level. And it's a big platforming section, fine, whatever. But there's this one section where you have to jump from these grates, and you're climbing on the grates, and you have to jump to them. That does not work very well in a 3D platformer, because they go around in a circle, and at the last fucking because half the time you jump and you wouldn't gain purchase on the fucking next section, and you just fall and die. But the last fucking thing you had to jump onto, the camera shifts halfway through because it thinks you're going to go to the platform that's behind it now. So the camera automatically shifts and thusly fucks up your jump, and you land in the water. I had to redo this part about I swear to God, it must have been 50 times. It was utterly ridiculous. But eventually I did it, of course, and I screamed a little because I was like, yes, fuck you, yes. But yeah, Meat Circus can go die. Just that whole level's horrible, and I hate it. I hate it. It's disgusting. But yeah. Psychonauts is a great game. Y'all should play it. That's all there is to say on the matter, really. So, thanks for listening to me ramble. If you want to hear more of this, I guess, fucking let me know, and maybe I'll do this more often. We'll see. It's really easy. It's really nice. I like talking. So it's nice just to talk about something for a while. Yay. Alright, I'll see you all soon. This is Hedgehog signing off. Bye-bye.